Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming today. So this session is geared for promotion and tenure committee members and promotion and tenure committee chairs. And if you are staff or an administrator, we welcome you as well. The more you know it, the better. I have the privilege of getting to introduce Cynthia Riddle. She is joining us today from Interfolio and is going to go over the process, and then I will be here to answer questions and kind of provide the perspective from the Dean of Faculty's office. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Cynthia.
Awesome. Hi there. Howdy. My name is Cynthia. I'm from Interfolio. I live in Austin, even though our Interfolio offices are in Washington, D.C. It just means I get to go there a few times a year, and I'm not really upset about that. I work on the faculty search, review, promotion, and tenure, and faculty 180 products. So we have 3 different products, and we're implementing all of them here at Texas A&M. So I'm excited about that. It's awesome. Okay, so we're going to start off today with, and I know some of you guys were in our previous session, not everybody, but some of you were. We're going to start off with the faculty or candidate experience. As a faculty member, the candidate will be the candidate will be providing the information to build their case. The cases will actually be created by the department admins, not by the candidates or the faculty, but by the admins. And that's how the cases are created. Also, no one will be logging in yet. Your admins will also give you access to log in when it's time, which is not quite yet, but soon. So listen, ask questions, feel free to interrupt me. We do have a microphone that we'll be bringing around just so everyone can hear the question. And then I'll be repeating the question for the people that are on the Zoom and not in the room with us so that they know what the question was. Awesome. We're good? Okay, so let's start off with a little bit about Interfolio. And it's finicky. There you go. So this is our agenda. We're going to talk about key concepts, and we're going to quick look at the candidate experience, not spend too much time on it, but just give you an idea. Oh, yeah, thanks. About what it looks like here and now. I think I can use this. Yeah, here we go. So the candidate experience will review what it's like for a candidate to access the system and submit their documents for review. And we'll talk a little bit about the dossier as well. We're not gonna go too much into the administrator role. That actually will happen in our next session after this. But we will talk about the chair experience and the committee member experience. Sorry, sometimes I talk about committee manager and committee member, and so now I'm trying to change committee member to chair. So that's what that slight stutter was, just trying to remember how you guys are talking about it. Okay, so this is just a little bit about the big picture. Texas A&M University's vision for an improved faculty information system. Not going to read it all to you. You guys can certainly read it yourselves, but what the future state might look like for Texas A&M University: centralized, digitized, secure online platforms. That's what we're going for. What's in it for you? Real-time insights into the review, promotion, and tenure process, and of course, that online tool that you can use to make that the candidate can use, and also that the committee members and chair can use. And then why now? This is the next step in our Interfolio implementation. Like I said, we've already implemented faculty search. This is review, promotion, and tenure. And we've begun work on faculty 180, which is kind of like a CV process, right? Building and creating CVs in the system. So we've started work on faculty 180. AgriLife is already live with faculty 180, and Texas and the university will become live, or will move into production soon, but in the next few months. Okay, so what is Interfolio Review, Promotion, and Tenure? It's an online system for carrying out formal faculty reviews in a shared system, shared governance context, built to help academic institutions ensure that these processes are transparent, equitable, efficient, and well documented. And like I said, RPT is the second of the 3 products that A&M will be using. So here's some important terms. Review, promotion, and tenure, we've talked about that. Templates are the blueprint for the cases. So templates are created first. They've already been created. They were created by the implementation team, and it's what the cases are built off of. So the blueprints were created, could have been created at a university level or a college or school level or a department level. So you guys have the cases at each department level at this point. A case is just the life cycle of the candidate as they progress through the standardized review cycle. Then we have the committee, you guys, a group of users that can review the candidate's case at a given step in the review process. There will be a committee for each step of the process. So there's a department head committee, there's P&T committees, right, is that the same thing? There's multiple committees along the way.
So the question was, can you explain the different committees at each step? So the thing to keep in mind about Interfolio is the process is going to mirror the same routing as it did outside of Interfolio. So the last however many years, it's going to go from the candidate to the department staff, to the department P&T committee, to the department head, to the college staff, to the college P&T committee, to the dean of faculties, to the provost, to the president, and to the board, pending if it is someone going up for tenure or not. So each one of those steps is going to have its own committee within Interfolio and will be customizable by the unit. So the Department of Anthropology is going to be able to customize who their P&T committee is. The College of Liberal Arts is going to be able to customize who should be on that P&T committee, and you'll be able to assign that all at once or case by case, depending on your cases and who is going up for what, because we know that the makeup is not always the same for each and every single case. Did that answer your question? Yes, so there can be, so the question was, could there be a committee of one? And the answer is yes. So the way the user roles are kind of defined, there can be one person at that step and they are a committee of one.
Awesome. So we have the committee and then we have a dossier, and the dossier is what the candidate uses as they're building their packet. So as documents are created within Interfolio, all of the documents are also saved to the dossier. So the dossier, you can think of it like a briefcase, and you're just putting documents or just putting files inside that briefcase. So everyone here, once you're logged in, once you have access to log in, you will, or not everyone, but all of the candidates will have access to the dossier. So you'll see when I log in that there's 2 choices, Texas A&M University and dossier. Dossier will just take you to see what all is in there, like what materials are included in your briefcase. So it's just like opening up a briefcase to see what's inside. But as a candidate attaches documents, maybe they attach them from their computer or wherever they have them saved, they'll also get saved into the dossier. Okay. So user roles, we have administrators. We'll talk more, or we'll talk to the administrators in our next session. We have committee managers or chairs, you guys call them, we call them committee managers. Committee managers are able to review the packet and move the case forward or backward and communicate with the committee and candidates. And then we have committee members who are able to review the candidate's packet. It just says it's unstable. Okay, of course it is. Review the candidate's packet, download documents, and leave comments. And then, of course, we have the candidates themselves who are attaching the documents to build their packet. Okay. This is just a little bit about Texas A&M University configuration and how it's working currently and how it will work moving forward. All right, you guys. Okay, so next we're going to jump into the system. Okay. So in order to get into Interfolio, oops, share, maybe, okay. You'll go to interfolio.com, and like I said, right now, today, if you were to try it, it's not going to work out for you. You guys have to be assigned via your department admins, but as soon as you're able to, go to interfolio.com and you click this sign in button right here. And now you would search for your institution to find your institution to go that way. So search and then just enter, just type in Texas, and you'll see Texas A&M University as the fourth option down. Oh, you're not seeing it, I'm sorry. Oh, it's because of how I shared it. It looks like this one is shared. No. Oh. Hold on, we'll fix it. But thanks for letting me know. You want me to just close it and start again? There you go. That's still the. Oh yeah, it's just not showing up here. Oh, that's good. Okay, thanks. All right, so again, you would type in here. Yeah, now you guys can see it. Texas, you'll see Texas A&M University. That's the fourth option. You'd click there and you can log in with your single sign-on credentials. I don't have single sign-on, so I'm gonna log in this way. So I'm going to log in. Oh, let's log in as this first. So I'm gonna log in as a candidate first and just build a packet to show you what it's like for the candidate to log in. The candidate, once the case is created, they will be notified, and the notification will lead them straight into their SSO login, where they'll just enter their credentials for single sign-on, and then they'll come right in.
Can you use the microphone?
Just a minute. Lauren's our microphone lady, and she's coming around.
When you're saying single sign-on, are you talking about single sign-on or net ID and password?
It's going to be your net ID and your net ID password.
Just a minute. Lauren's right behind you.
If you have a sign-in for AgriLife, then is it the same for Texas A&M, or do we do the single sign-on?
I think that it will be the same. We're still working on that from a system standpoint. And you'll see the differences. Sorry, the question was if you're already logging in for AgriLife, will you also have to, how will it be two different logins? So here, where it says TAMU candidate, right at the top right, it'll actually say your name. So when you click on that, you can see that I have some options here. So one of them is that I can get to the product help, but you see where it says Texas A&M University, you'd also have the option here for AgriLife. Okay. So I'm logged in. I don't have I don't know where my packet went. I don't have a packet because that would be too easy if I had a packet. Let me see if I can get it to go. No, that would be too easy if it worked, right? Okay, give me a minute. Let me, because I haven't been either. I've been using my computer, not yours. No. And I love passwords. No, okay. Yeah, no, that's right. I can go to, we could go to our other person and just see what was there. So I don't think that there's a new, oh yeah, I got it. So this person, oh, okay, never mind. So let's go into the committee member, because today my logins are not working. Let me just try one more time. IELLE, right? I spelled all that right. Oh, I didn't. It is EI? I know, I see. Aha, look at that. Let's save that. Okay, so here when I log in as, thanks. My spelling's not so good. When I log in as this person, then I have access to Texas A&M University and also to my dossier. So I can see two different things here. And if you were also if you also had access to AgriLife, you would see a third option. So it would say Texas A&M AgriLife as well. Okay, so when I log in, I have access to my packets. Now for this individual, the packets have already been submitted. And you can see that they were submitted today. And that's all that this candidate now has access to since they've submitted their packet. But if they wanted to see what they had submitted, they can't make changes to it anymore, but they can still come in here and see what the overview is and see the actual packet information. So they can see that each one of them is locked because the submission has been completed and it's been moved forward by the admin really, but it's now sitting with the committee manager. They wouldn't have any idea where it is in the process though. They just know that their portion has been completed. So this is just from a faculty or the candidate standpoint. Remember the committee managers and the admins can converse or send more information to the candidates anytime they want. But right now this candidate hasn't received any more information. So there are instructions here for the candidate that the candidate can see prior to their submission process. Okay. So let's log out of here and let's log in as a committee member. So I'm going to log in as a committee manager. So in this case, this committee manager, the admin has forwarded this packet or sent this packet along to the committee manager. If the committee manager has this information of this packet available to them in their actions, and they also, if they click on cases, have the same access to the same one, but here you can see what step they are in the process. So in this case, this is step 2 of 10. So, so that's where the packet is sitting right now. So in order to view the packet or view the information from the home or from within cases, I just click on the person's name. And in this case, the person's name is TAMU Reveille. And I can see information. Now I can collapse everything to see the packet. Now what I can't, this is just viewing the packet itself, both the candidate sections, a candidate packet, and then there's internal sections as well. But first, probably what I want to do is become familiar with the case by selecting Read Case. So Read Case allows you to go through each one. Now I just put some, test documents in here, so don't concentrate too much on what you're seeing on the screen, but the candidate statement on teaching, research, or other scholarly or creative activities is first, and I can move, forward and forward to see the information that's here, right? So I can come through and read it. One of the things that I can do is create I could either point or text or just write. I can create these annotations. So an annotation is only for me, and it's really just like a sticky note. So I can type in here what it is I like or, want to note. about this document or even this candidate packet. So again, and it will catch my spelling mistakes, and maybe I can right click, maybe not, or I can just fix it. So it will, the annotations again are just for you. If you wanted to do a screen share and hide your annotations because you don't want somebody else that you're gonna, share your screen with to see these annotations, you can click on this eyeball on the lower right, and it will hide all of your annotations from view. And then you click on the eyeball again, and they'll all come back. Yes. Oh wait, just a minute. Sorry, Lauren.
Because we are an open records institution, anything that they note, would that also come with the open record request? I only asked for this because there was an issue to that research as well.
So the question is about open records and whether the annotations would be available in an open record search. The annotations can be available, so you do want to keep that in mind if someone requests an open records, yes. You can delete all of your annotations. Oh, sorry, I'll get to your question. At one time, if you want to click on the delete button, it is a hard delete, so it will delete your annotation. It doesn't save it anywhere. So if you accidentally create an annotation, or you're worried that you just need to remind yourself where you were when you were reviewing before, then you want to come back and you don't need that annotation anymore because this is where you left off or something like that. Yes, a question.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
it's fine.
A while back you showed documents were locked.
Yes.
I can imagine throughout the process the candidates would have updates for publications accepted or something. How are they going to update those if they're locked?
I'm going to let Sandra answer that question after she reads.
Okay, so the question is, how does the candidate update their CV if there are changes to their CV, or if they have a publication that got accepted or grants that have been funded? How do they put that information in once they've already submitted it? So the answer is they will submit a memo to their department head, and their department head or a department administrator can add that in on their behalf. Once it's past the candidate's portion and they have submitted all of their documents, it is locked and they are not able to go back in and edit anything. They can have they can also have an administrator unlock a section and return the dossier back to them. But you can imagine if it is at a committee step or it's already gone through the department head and it's at the college committee, you probably wouldn't want to submit that all the way back to the candidate. So you're just going to have that administrator put that memo where it needs to go, and it will be reviewed at the subsequent steps.
But if it's at the college level, for instance, the department can still unlock it. It doesn't have, you don't have to send a memo up to the college level to get it unlocked.
So if it was at the college level, then the memo would need to be given to the college administrator to add.
So it's going to have to be at the level each step is at.
Yes.
Awesome, thanks. Sorry, that was a little bit delayed. Yes, Lauren is coming on your left.
When it is available to the committee manager or the committee chair, is it available at the same time to the committee members, or does the chair then make it available to the members?
So the question is, who has access to it in what order? Does the committee manager or chair have access at the same time as the committee member? And the answer is yes, access is available at the same time for both levels or both roles. Thanks for being patient, you guys.
You mentioned that the candidate doesn't know where the application is once it's submitted. So how is he or she supposed to know where to send the memo to?
So the candidate should be notified at every step of the process and where their dossier is and where it is in being reviewed. If they have a change or something needs to be updated, that memo to the department head will definitely know, and they will be able to get it to the right step to make sure that it gets uploaded in the right place. And if there's any confusion, your college staff member or your department staff member will also be administrators, as well as the dean and the department head are administrators for the cases for within their unit, as well as our office if there's any confusion or assistance needed.
Right, so remember your committee member, your committee manager can see what step you're on, and there is the ability for the committee manager to contact the candidate at any and all steps along the way. I'll show you how that works in just a minute. Okay, so you'll come through, make any necessary notes to yourself that you'd like to, you know, hey, I like this part. Hey, pick up here when I come back because this is where I left off or something like that. You also have the ability to download the packet or download a specific document if you want to read it offline. So it will download to a PDF if you do the whole packet, and then you can, you know, take it and read it without having to be on the internet or within Interfolio. When you're done reading it, reading the whole packet, making any notes that you want to yourself, then you can use the return to case in the top right. It is possible to use the back buttons, but not all of our products at Interfolio like the back button, so I wouldn't recommend it. Try to find either there's, you know, these things that tell you like where you are, right? So you can use this. Thank you, breadcrumbs. Thank you so much. I was trying to remember that word. There's breadcrumbs here at the top, and there's also options here. So if you want to notify the candidate when you're ready, you have case options. I'm sorry. You have the ability to notify the candidate at this point if you wanted to, or after you move it forward. And then you can send the case forward or backward using the send case. So within the case details, there's a little bit different information. So you can see the instructions that the candidate had. You also have some instructions here in the case details. And there's some required items necessary, at least at this step. And there's probably different required items at each step. So here you're looking for the Department Evaluation of Teaching report. The required data could be different for each department. So don't necessarily write down what's required here. Your cases will be specific to your department. Yeah, no problem.
So while that's true, and there's going to be some discipline specific things that the departments want to see, they may want a teaching portfolio added or different things like that. These documents that are listed here are required by the Office of the Dean of Faculties, and you do have to submit all of them. If it is, and keep in mind too, there are 4 different templates within Interfolio. There's the tenure and promotion. They're already tenured, promotion only, tenure only, and then the academic professional track promotions. So one, it's going to be crucial when your department person is creating the case that they're selecting the right template for their candidate. That is going to drive what things are going to be required for them and what things are going to be optional. So we all know not all academic professional track departments don't all require external review letters, but there are some that do. So those will not be like a hard mandate there to be required. You'll be able to submit without that. These is not going to let you, like right now, you can see where it said right here, it says there's 11 missing things. It's not going to let you go forward and submit this case to the next step until you have uploaded all 11 things at your step. These are not new things. I'm going to repeat that. These are not new things. These are going to be the same things that have been required for years and years and years. And the only difference is it's in Interfolio and it's not going to let you do it. Whereas before you could submit an email and nobody would catch you on it. But this is going to be a hard stop and not let you go to the next step until all of those things at that step are satisfied. Now, the system is very, very smart, but it is not smart that if you upload a blank PDF or a blank Word document that it knows that and can catch that. We will, and we will be sending it back if it's not already caught at the next step. So keep that in mind. But these are, so the same teaching research service, other report, and your department committee report. The external reviewer checklist, that was new this last year. That is gonna, we received a significant amount of positive feedback on both of the checklists, at the candidate checklist as well as the department checklist. So those are gonna continue. And then you have the P&T committee report. So it's gonna show you here what all of you have to submit. And the reason it says 11, so like, don't panic, because you're like, there wasn't 11 things before. I didn't have to turn in 11 things. So you have the option within each template to fill out a form within Interfolio and cut and paste your report and put it directly into Interfolio, or upload your report with your signatures like you have before. So you have that option. So it's counting both of those, and that's why there's 11 things there. Yes, there's a question here. And then there's a question.
I just want to make sure I'm clear on the process. If I understand correctly, we assemble the packet or dossier as always, and then it's just a matter of uploading it according to Interfolio requirements.
Okay, so the question was, are we assembling the packet as you always have been?
Yeah, do we just put it together like we did in the good old days?
Yes, so for the candidates, the requirements are not different. The only difference being is going to be the mechanism in which the dossier is being compiled and routed forward for review.
But we assemble it before we upload.
So the question is, will they assemble it before they upload it? Yes and no. So you will have the option, once your department staff member has created a case for their faculty, the faculty member will get an email that says they need to, or their case is ready for them to begin uploading documents. When they log in, they will see the list of requirements of everything that they are supposed to upload. They will have the ability to add items within each section. Again, not new things, same things that they had to upload before, their candidate statement, the grants chart, the data table, all that same stuff, same things. They will have the option within each section to upload, and then once they can submit by section, or they can submit them, upload them all at once and submit them. But
I guess my confusion rests in this. It's been our practice in my department, and I think throughout the College of Liberal Arts, that committees and candidates work very closely with one another to assemble the case.
Okay, so the question.
So now, if I understand you, the candidate operates in isolation. Is that right, or do I work with her or him?
So the question was, will the candidate be working primarily in isolation, or will the committee be able to work still with the candidate? So absolutely, we absolutely encourage you to still be able to be in direct connection with your candidates and working with them. So we have, in our previous session, we were asked a very similar question. You know, we mentor our faculty on, you know, what their CV should look like, and, you know, kind of help them along the way. Like, is this being taken away? No, it's not. That process will still take place and happened outside of Interfolio previously and will continue to do so. When you're worked with your candidate and they have their final documents ready to submit, those are the ones they will upload and route forward. But that does not necessarily mean that you have to stop working with them or mentoring them in any way.
Okay, thanks very much.
Question. Do you have the other one?
This is just a request. This might not be the right session to request it, but I wonder if department administrators could be given access to a test candidate so that we can see what that experience is like for them and understand that process very well, so that when the candidates come to department staff or a department head and don't understand it, we can give better answers.
Sure.
Would that be possible?
So the question was, would there be like a sandbox or a test case that people would have access to? So I will look into having like a test case going forward. I know we will be meeting with department and college staff members to further train them and really work through the Texas A&M processes and how to click, how to get your dossiers created and logged. And then the other part of it will be on our website, and it's at the very bottom. It says Interfolio office hours. So Lauren and I did this this last cycle. So from the college up, they have been involved with Interfolio as of this past cycle. So all of the dossiers within this last cycle were submitted through Interfolio. The dean step did not vote, but the college staff member uploaded every single dossier as one single PDF and it routed forward. So we have done a soft launch on this already, and the system has worked extremely well. During last year, and something we wanted to continue are these office hours where we will be able to schedule one-on-one meetings with you, where you can come to our office or we can come to you, and we can sit there and really, help you guys navigate it. Because the whole point of the process is that it's smooth and that it's helpful to you. We want it to be a great tool. So if it doesn't work, or if you're confused or you're stuck or you're having frustration, then that's just going to continue to flow, and we don't want that. So we're going to make sure that we're available. Another option is, as you see up here, we have Zoom. So the entire office of the Dean of Faculties has Zoom, not just for trainings and presentations, but something we're continuing on is that we will get help calls now, and they'll say, I have my screen up. Can I share my screen with you so you can walk me through it? And we can definitely do that. So we're on the phone, we can share screens. We all have cameras and microphones on our computer so that we're able to help. And sometimes that's easier than having to schedule a meeting or trying to email and, okay, send me a screenshot, and that doesn't work. And so now you can just share your screen directly with us, and we're there to help walk you through it. So I think as far as a test case, I'll look into it, but your department and college and department staff, as well as deans and department heads, will be trained on the process as well and know more information on how to navigate it and what they're looking at. And then also on our webpage, we have every single process and step broken down, and those have screenshots as well and how to navigate through there.
Just one more question. Real quick. So not having seen what the candidates are uploading yet, are they going to be uploading PDFs of articles, proposals, things of that sort, or is that separate from Interfolio?
So the question is, will the candidate be able to, or will be uploading articles and publications within their dossier? So at the bottom of the candidate page, we don't have it, that's okay. We don't have it here. At the very bottom of the section that the candidate has.
Candidate one, this one,
okay,
has access to the Q packet now.
So they will have the ability within that it'll say supplemental documents required by the college, supplemental documents required by the department, and extra documents compiled by that the candidate themselves wanted to make sure were included. So those are sections within the dossier that they will be able to add. It will be college and department specific. So if that is something, some departments require a teaching portfolio uploaded there. So it really is going to depend on the department on what you're wanting there. But the answer is yes, they can. And Interfolio supports a very large, wide variety of file formats. Within each required item, as far as the candidate statement, we have gone in and provided directions on what type of format needs to be uploaded there. So if it is the candidate statement, I believe it says a Word document that is 3 pages in length, normal font, normal margins, has to address all 3 areas, just like it always did. So the formats have not changed.
And then you were talking about the options, and they're down here, other documents.
Yeah, so this is like the candidates tab 13, if you will. The other documents are here, and I have it broken down just by college, department, and candidate. And then these templates will be there for your colleges. So if they have something specific, they can go in and update this to say, okay, the College of Liberal Arts wants like 15 articles here. Okay. But they have that ability to edit that further, so you can provide more instruction or leave it as is that we've created at the university level. I think, Lauren.
Okay. So just to be clear, based on what you said, the candidates will be able to upload a CV and not have to fill out the activity report this year. So we just went through a performance review, and I figured my activity report would take about 60 hours for me to convert my CV to the activities. So that's why I'm wondering, are they going to be filling in those individual fields for journal articles and stuff like that?
So the question was, will they have to fill out the faculty or activity reporting if they have it in their CV? The answer is yes, in that you will have the space to upload your CV here, but the data table is there still, and it's just the bulleted list. It's not like a paragraph form. It's just patents, 5 articles, conferences, teaching awards, and it can be cut and paste into, but that is still required. So that hasn't changed because it was still the CV and the data table had to be submitted previously. Dr. Reed had the question.
Sandra, your 4 options, you didn't mention midterm. Can we use this for midterm this year?
Okay, so the question was, can we use this for midterm reviews? Was not one of the 4 options listed. So it is not one of the 4 options in that the 4 that we created are for the tenure and promotion cycle for the 2020-2021 year. Having said that, the colleges and departments will have the ability to take our template, duplicate it, and make any updates that you need to and rename it midterm review. So you will be able to customize these, and hopefully moving forward, I think the idea long-term is that annual reviews, midterm reviews, and don't hurt me, post-tenure review will be in Interfolio. I defer to my fearless leader, Dr. Lubiani, on that, on when and if that will take place, but the system does have that capability to do so if that's the direction they choose to.
Is there any work going forward that would allow us to use DOIs to import papers in instead of cutting and pasting?
So the question was, is there any work being done on DOIs or an import of data to help fill in these fields? So yes, after myself, Cynthia, Lauren get RPT successfully launched, we will be moving to the 3rd module of Interfolio, which is the Faculty 180 or the Faculty Activity Reporting or the dossier. It kind of has 3 names, but they're all the same. They will it gives the faculty member the option to go in and build out their CVs, build out their activity reporting, and then the templates that we have already created do allow for that information to be fed in directly and therefore not having to be re-entered and duplicated. It's not an automatic thing. It has to be told to do that, and you have to select which things you want to put in there. It's not going to guess, but it will have that capability. And so we are hoping once that I get RPT off my desk, then I will move to 180 and we'll work on that. So I'm cautiously optimistic that it would be April for 180 to hopefully be launched. That's kind of what we're shooting for. And I know that it's going to be a little late in the process for the faculty who are already starting, because I know a lot of colleges will start in February or early March. So we're not going to be able to catch everybody, but that's why the process is allowing for these templates for this year will allow the old way and the new way as well. So the question online, if we don't duplicate the P&T info and Interfolio for midterm reviews, will we still submit it the way that we have always done so in the past? So yes, keep in mind, midterm reviews don't come to the office of the Dean of Faculties. They stop at the college level. So you would need to work with your college and department on setting up those templates and making sure they're routing to the correct people.
In our department, we have been talking about the midterm reviews. We also look in our evaluation process, we look at annual reviews of candidates from previous years. Mm-hmm. Will these be in the system?
So the question was, will annual reviews from previous years be able to be added to the system for evaluation? The answer is yes. And those who have administrator access or will have it if it's a requirement, then if it's a requirement that gets made for the candidate by your department, then they would see it as one of their things to upload. They could list it on their verification of statement contents. If it's not, and it's something that the department or the college needs to upload, they will have that ability as well to upload it into the other section, tab 13, just like they always have. Yeah, we just haven't gotten there yet.
I have a question about the user interface and the accessibility. What is the difference between a committee chair and a committee member in terms of functionalities available? And then my kind of follow-up question is there any mechanisms for the members of the committee to collaborate on an application or packet online?
Yeah, we just haven't gotten there too.
Okay.
Yeah, but good. I promise I'll get there.
So for those online, the question was about collaboration between committee members and committee managers and the different functionality between the two, and we're gonna cover that coming up.
Actually, you did ask about the committee manager and the committee member, what one can do and one cannot, or something like that, right? What they have access to. The committee manager can contact the candidate. That is something that the member cannot do, and the committee manager can move the packet forward or backward, and the committee member cannot do that either. Those are the two things that a committee manager can do that the member cannot. We'll take one more question and then we'll continue on, because it sounds like you guys have questions about things I haven't gotten to yet.
So up until now, I had the sense that you can copy paste from your CV into this system. Can you, the alternative, can you just use the system to finally press a button and generates your CV?
So that's part of what Faculty 180 will allow. Oh, the question is, can you use this system to generate your CV? And the answer is that is what Faculty 180 will be able to do. And we haven't quite launched Faculty 180. Sandra is optimistic and she believes that it will be ready at the end of April. I say if we, maybe. But yeah, that's what Faculty 180 does. It allows you to determine what you want included in, from your faculty activity reporting in your output or in your CV. We call it a Vita because it can be used for so much. Okay, so we're logged in as a candidate. I'm going to switch back to the chair. Oops. Okay, so back to the cases. This chair only has access to one case, which is fine. It is on step 2 of 10. So when you click on the person's name, you'll go into the packet. And when you look at the case details, right, we saw that you can, from the case materials, you can click on read to read all of the attachments or all of the required attachments that the candidate uploaded to their case. And under case details, you yourself have your instructions. This is Department P&T Committee instructions. So each step of the way, there are instructions for that committee or those individuals that are included, one or more individuals. And you can see that there are these required items. That's what Sandra was talking about before. And in order to attach the required items, you click on the plus by the file. And you have the ability to either select from the case or upload a new file. So you can browse to upload. I think you put that on the desktop, right? So you go to your desktop, you pick out your test document because that's what it is. Click on open and it will attach it here. So then I click on add, and now this requirement is complete. So there are some, I think, attachment, or you can fill out the form. So here, there's a way that you can fill out this form by clicking on fill out form, and you'll see the required fields. Anything that is required has a red asterisk next to it. So you could fill out this form instead and submit the form. Or if I'm halfway through and I'm not quite, I can save my responses as I go. If I get interrupted and I don't have time to finish, you can come back and finish later. I'm going to cancel out because I'm not entering all of the requirements. But you can see here. So now, since I have submitted one document. Now it's changed to 10 missing instead of the 11 it was. So the committee members, I can see here who my committee members are. I can email all of the committee members at once if I want. This is what you're asking about, is being able to enter a comment. The comments are discoverable. We had that question before, but you can add a comment here. And then you can say who your comment is for. I only have a few people, like whether, yeah, so I can enter what my comment is here. And then add. Now, as a committee manager, they also have the ability to record votes if they want to. The votes will be entered manually by the committee manager, sorry. It's not something that you're sending out a form and the committee members vote on. This is a meeting that happens outside of Interfolio, and then you can just record those with a date attached. Okay. There's also a place here where the committee manager can leave notes on the vote, should they need to. And then you can save those changes. What else do we have? What other questions you guys have? I'm trying to remember what else here's where you can send the case forward or backwards. So if I try to send the case forward, actually that's what I was gonna do. If I try to send the case forward, it tells me all of these things are missing. So it will not allow me to send it forward while there are requirements that I have not fulfilled. So I can view my requirements, but I still have to complete them. And then we looked at here. I can email the candidate from the case options. So just to keep the candidate informed of what's going on. Okay, more questions? Sorry, Lauren.
After the reports are done and this is moving up to other committee levels or dean levels and so on, that's understandable. But before that happens, we will have sent material to the external reviewers. It is kind of implied that we would send them from this system. Is that true, or are we going to send the material the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, so actually in the question is about sending materials to the external reviewers. So under case materials, there's the candidate information, and then below that there are internal sections, and the internal sections are things like the candidate dossier cover sheet. So these are internal sections to any committee manager, committee members that need access to it. So you can edit, add the file here, and you'll notice as I scroll down, there is the ability to request external evaluations, or if you have those external evaluations, you can also select to add the file if you want to just attach it here. So you could request it if you need to, or if you already have, if they've already filled it out, you can just add it.
I'm gonna say, so that is for this year only. Do you have the ability to do it essentially the old way, or through email, or to use the new system starting next cycle? So not 2020, 2021, 2021, 2022. It will be required that you use Interfolio to request your external evaluations.
This speaks to the different roles that a committee member can play as opposed to a committee manager. Can a committee member also add files? So I might have different members of the committee writing the teaching evaluation or the research evaluation. Can those individual members add things in there, or is it only the committee manager who can do that?
So the question was, is the committee manager the only person that can upload items within Interfolio, or can a committee member do it as well? So yes, you have, a lot of times you do have the subcommittees that do the different reports for the candidates, and they will be able to upload things, not just the committee manager.
So real quick, could you walk us through the request evaluation procedure there that's up on the screen?
Just the
Okay.
Sure. Someone was asking to walk through the request evaluation procedure. So when I click on request evaluation, I'm putting in the evaluator's information into this area. So whoever I'm requesting the evaluation from, so, you know, their first and last name and their email address. Then this is from Texas A&M University. If you want to make the reply to something else, it's fine. They're not going to, you know, they'll only see the reply to, probably change it to a distribution email if you want to receive it back. And then the subject. So what is it that you're asking for? Right? And then you have a message. And then you can add files. So you're asking for their evaluation on something, you should probably send them what you're asking their evaluation on. So you can send any documents that are attached to the packet. So these are documents that were attached to the packet. This is a test document, so internal documents as well as documents that the candidate themselves attach to the packet. And then you send it off. Did that make sense? Is that what you're looking for?
Is it expected that we will contact our potential evaluators in advance of their getting a contact from the system?
And the question was about contacting evaluators in advance of their receiving an email from the system.
So yes, so you will still be able to pre-screen outside of the system and ask, and then if they accept, you can send it to them. Some choose not to pre-screen, so you can use the system there as well. Is there another question?
In many circumstances, when departments are requesting external letters of evaluation, the dossier, the packet is not really formed. All we have is a CV of the applicant that may not have been uploaded. Can we upload directly and add that to such an automated letter? Because I think you said that the information would have to be pulled out of the system. Is that?
Well, it would be part of the the question was about what information can be included in the request. So here, when I click on request evaluation, I have the ability to add files. So these files are, even though it doesn't look like it, these files are all of the files included in the candidate packet, as well as files that were added internally to the internal packet. So yeah, you can't see them, but that's just because they weren't named correctly. Yeah, it's just because this is a test. It was a test packet, and I didn't have correctly named files. A file, you know, whatever name. The files were not named correctly. But yeah, you should see a CV. You should see a cover letter. You should see whatever other documents were required. Right. Here you should have everything in Interfolio. Yeah, so the question is, if the candidate has not included something that's required into their packet when you want to contact the evaluator, anything that's required of the candidate, they cannot complete their submission, and nothing can move on to the next step within the system. So it can't move to step 2 if all of the required files have not been included by the candidate. So it wouldn't be able to get here. You wouldn't be able to notify the evaluator if the candidate had not submitted everything that they need to submit. Sorry, it was right behind you. I saw her coming.
So if I remember correctly, you mentioned tab 13. In the past, it actually disappears at a certain level of the evaluation process in the old-fashioned way of routing things by paper. In this particular circumstance, when you upload items for tab 13, since it's now electronic, is that something that would pass all the way up to the top, or does it get blocked at some point? Does it function the same way as it used to in the past, or is there a new system?
So the question is tab 13 going to have the same things that it had in the past, or have the items removed before it gets to the Dean of Faculty step? So in years past, articles, books, a lot of things like that have been taken out of tab 13 before it makes it to the Dean of Faculty step. In Interfolio, everything that is with tab 13 will be there, so it will stay there throughout the process. When we download it at our step, and I say we being the Dean of Faculties, when we download it at our step, we have the ability to eliminate that if it is like a journal or an article. So we will be able to still take the journal and articles and publications out, but still keep everything else in to route it forward to the next step. So it will stay. So honestly, the answer is both. Like it will stay with the dossier if you put it in tab 13, and it's going to route with every step. And then for the evaluations past Dean of Faculties, we will be able to take that out so that.
So is it, if I understand correctly, then you're actually printing all this stuff ultimately for Dean of Faculties. They're not going to be reading the electronic version of it, or is that?
So it is my goal to have everybody reviewing the dossiers within the system. That is my goal. And it is honestly reviewer dependent. So there are some that still very, very, very much like paper. And there are some that very much, don't love PDFs and electronics. So we are encouraging that, and we are having the different trainings even with the steps past ours on how to review it electronically. So it's my hope that it will all be done within the same system, and there won't be a need to constantly download or print each thing. Hope I didn't throw anybody under the bus on that one.
Once again, I have a question. I'm not sure at which point the candidate is expected to enter into Interfolio. I mean, our candidates are nominated for promotion. Then the case goes before the department, and we by that time have collected all the outside reviews.
Okay, so
and the candidate may or may not at that point move forward. In order for us to collect these outside reviews, the candidate has to enter a file or an account with Interfolio. Or can't we look at all that material before anything goes forward?
Okay, so I'm going to try to answer your question, and I'm going to encourage you to talk to Becky Liberal Arts right here sorry, Becky. So the department staff member, and this module will go live on the 20th. Departments will have the ability, a significant amount of departments already know who should be going up this year and who will be putting their packets up. So as soon as this goes live, it will more than likely, people are going to immediately start entering their candidates in and sending them that notification. The departments are going to have deadlines on when the candidates have to have all of that information into them. And then from there, they will check, it will go to the department staff person. They will check it within that timeline so that you have time to get it to the P&T committee to start requesting these external evaluations. Some have already started. That's why this process is allowing both ways for when it gets to this external evaluation step. If you haven't started, you have the ability to use the system. If you have started or you want to continue doing it the old way, you will have the ability to upload those things there that were done outside of Interfolio. Essentially, if in years to come, moving forward, if the candidate hasn't completed their step, it won't make it to the department staff member or to the department P&T committee. So therefore, you wouldn't have the ability to use the system to request external evaluation. So your candidate is going to have their stuff together and to you by the department deadlines. That's not different than it is now. They have to turn everything in and submit their verification statement, content statement to the department, and then they go from there.
And it's been our practice that the candidate suggests a list of people to be outside referees in the department independently. determines the list. I don't know to what extent these letters are considered confidential and to what extent they would just be turned over to the candidate and then uploaded.
No.
What is going on here? They're not confidential?
No, they are very, very, so the letters, the external evaluation letters are very, very, very much confidential.
So the candidate doesn't upload those?
No.
The candidate would not have
So the
access.
candidate is not involved in the process of requesting the external letters. They will submit their list of who they recommend. The department or the department P&T committee will have their list. You have to have a good mix from both lists for those that are having letters requested. So the candidate will not see those letters, and even once they're uploaded to Interfolio, whether it be the new process or the old process, they're still not going to see them. So once that's through the candidate's step, their step is locked. They're not going to be able to go in and review anything or any reviews after that point, and they won't be able to see the external review letters. So the candidate checklist that we implemented last year and the department checklist will still be in effect this year. There will just be a space for you to upload that as a PDF. We did not make that a fillable Interfolio form yet, but those were extremely beneficial and utilized heavily this last year, and were actually utilized very well. And so those have been a great tool. So those are going to continue.
This is just a continuation on the requesting external letters. Traditionally, in order to get the correct amount or required amount of external letters, we have to start that process now.
Right.
And our candidate, who know they're a candidate, usually spend the spring and summer putting their dossier materials together. So if in the future, not this year, but next cycle or cycle after next, that sounds like it's going to speed up the creation of the dossier on the candidate's side, in our case, by a good 6 to 7 months. So that, because as I say, in order to get our letters, we have to start asking in February, March. We can't wait until summer to start asking for letters.
Okay, right. So if you're, like I said, so the process, we're a little behind the 8 ball as far as when this module was getting rolled out and when people are in process with their external letters. So we recognize that, and that is why this year you have the ability to utilize and upload the old way, and what you've requested outside of Interfolio, as well as if you haven't started, to be able to use the system if you choose to do that. These templates will be here, and other than, I think, minor edits to the forms, more likely than not, they're not going to change. So your candidate would have the ability, assuming the department created it, you could create their case for them in November or December for the next year, and then they have November, December, January, and February to work on it. So it's not necessarily shortening the process for them, because like you said, they know who they are and they know that they will be going up in the next year. So really it's just going to come down to, kind of tweaking internal processes a little bit. I don't think the timeline is going to change or be altered at all.
I think you're also misunderstanding the timeline for the candidate having their dossier complete is going to change drastically in our case. They must have their completed dossier submitted, blocked, before an external letter can be requested. That is a significant change from the way we do it now. We request asking external letters with a CV. If the entire dossier has to be in and locked down, that is going to move the candidate's schedule up significantly.
Okay, so I will let Dr. Lipiani know, and I will have her look into that further. Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, so I think we talked about this before, but I'll just kind of wrap up by saying once all of the required internal documents have been added, then the committee manager is allowed to forward to the next step. So in this case, the next step is the department head review. Obviously, it's not going to let me do it right now. One, it's grayed out, so I know it won't let me. But also when I click on it, it'll tell me that I have requirements that are missing. So I want to go back to the PowerPoint, I think that we were, oh here, wait, this one, that we were looking at before. I think we talked about the Interfolio Help Center, but actually let me just do that. Let me jump back over to the profile. So here, if I click on my name, which is what will be in the top right, it will not tell you your role. It will just say your name. This just happens to be a test user. And if you scroll down under resources, there's a product help. And this product help, you can search for something. So if you're trying to do something and you can't remember how, it's product related. It's not Texas A&M University related. If it's specific to the university or what the levels are or who will be contacted next, something to that effect, you'd have to go to your admin, your department or your college admin for that, or the dean of faculties. But if it has something to do with Interfolio, you can come here and do a search. You can also say, I want help specifically for review, promotion, and tenure, which is what this product is. And then you can search there. It has some topics over on the left, some topics that a lot of people look for. And then down at the bottom, you'll see that there is the email address for our Scholar Services team. That's our customer support team. So you can email them, you can call them 9 to 6 Eastern, that's 8 to 5 Central. You can ping them on Twitter, or you can contact them via Facebook as well. So that's how to contact Interfolio. And back here. So this document, this PowerPoint will also be available on the DOF internal website. So on the internet, you can get to it because the next page also has some attachments, a form to fill out if you want to contact the Dean of Faculties, and then a user guide and video snippet. This Zoom has been recorded, and it will also be added to the internet. Yes.
Most important question of all.
Yes.
Is this Mac Safari?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the question is, how can you access it? What sites can you use? You can use Safari because I use a Mac. Today I'm using a Dell for the first time in years, and it's throwing me off altogether. So yeah, definitely Safari, Chrome, IE if you have to, but Firefox is okay. But Chrome is the one that we recommend. Try to stay within the top, last one or two updates. If it took you too long to update, then you might have some trouble. I know we're just past our time, so I really appreciate you guys coming and staying, and all of your questions have been fantastic. So thanks so much for your time.